welcome back to my channel. This is Breaking Bread, and you know me, Chef Drea. Like always, I need you guys to hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell, hit the notification so that every time we upload a new video, you're notified right away. So today, special day, I have my best friend here. She's gonna come on camera and help me cook. So come on in. She's been hanging out with me today. Like I said, Breaking Bread is all about hanging out with friends and just chilling. So this is my best friend, Risha.
Hi, how are you?
So what we're gonna do today, we're gonna make a garlic shrimp pasta. It's one of our favorite dishes that we always order out. So we're gonna try to recreate it here at home.
This is gonna be fun. Okay.
And she loves a cocktail, so we have one ready for her to have.
Find a friend like this, guys. One that cooks and serves you cocktails. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Okay, so today what we're gonna do, like I said before, we're gonna try to recreate one of our favorite meals. We go out to this wonderful Portuguese restaurant near where we live, and we always get this garlic shrimp pasta and steaks. So we're gonna try to recreate that same meal today.
This is exciting.
It's exciting.
This is, we found this place a couple of years ago, 4 or 5 years ago?
Yeah, maybe 5 years now.
And this literally is the only thing we get. We should, I guess, broaden our
Broaden
horizons.
our horizons.
We're the kind of people like to stick to what we know. So I'm excited. You didn't tell me we're doing a surprise meal, so this is kind of cool. So what do you need from me? I've seen the show.
Well, my favorite thing, like always, you go online and you see like, oh, how to recreate the Cheddar Bay biscuit from Fridays or whatever. So my goal was to recreate
That's actually Red Lobster.
Oh yeah, Red Lobster. That's right. So whatever. You know, so basically I have this stuff kind of prepped here. We're gonna do some onions, some garlic. I have the shrimp over there we're gonna throw in the pan.
Okay.
So let's just basically get started cooking, and we'll just hang out and chat while we cook.
Well, let me wash my hands and
we'll get started. All right. Okay, so to get started, I already diced a half of white onion. It's about a small to medium sized white onion, half of it already diced. I'm gonna have her go ahead and chop these garlic. It's 6 cloves of garlic that we're gonna add in, 6 large cloves we're gonna need for this dish. So she's gonna go ahead and just slice the garlic while I go over here and throw some oil in the pan to heat up for our shrimp.
You're gonna test me on the camera. We're cutting.
I think you got this.
Is this a particular order that I'm cutting this?
No, however you want. Just slice the garlic in like thin strips.
Am I doing this the right way?
You know, you don't want them too big where we don't want to like bite into like a large chunk of garlic.
No,
but, you
nobody
know,
likes to bite in cloves of garlic.
Exactly. So just like a nice medium size slices, thin strips. I'm gonna go over here. I already turned our pan on to a medium high, and I'm just gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Because once you chop that garlic, then we're gonna go over here and we're gonna start cooking our shrimp. So we're gonna let that heat up.
Drew, what inspired you to do this?
You know what? Honestly, truth is COVID. Okay. I was bored. I was in the house. My daughter was in the house. She was bored. I was like, what can we do? And it was basically just COVID. Like, I really didn't have anything else to do. I was working from home, so I was home a lot more. So I had a lot more like in between time and downtime. So I was just like, hey, this is something I always wanted to do. I love cooking. I love inviting people over. So I was like, why not do both? Like,
you definitely cook for an army all the time for 3 people.
Exactly.
Andrea's the house that, you know, if you want a snack or something, you know, you could always have 12 meals when you go home. She always likes to send me home with 15
I do.
different
I
meals.
always like take a to-go plate and everything. I love it. So it was something I just enjoy doing, and then it was fun to be able to just do it with friends.
Okay.
So now we have our onion chopped, and she's just finishing up chopping the garlic, and we're gonna move over here and we're gonna do our shrimp.
How's this?
That's good. I think that's a perfect size, perfect amount, perfect. We're gonna just move over here.
Okay.
And we're gonna start throwing stuff into the pot. So I already have the olive oil over here heated. It's 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the pan, medium heat. And then we're gonna go ahead and start throwing our shrimp in. Start doing our shrimp here. So she's gonna go ahead and add the seasonings into the bowl with the shrimp.
Okay, so we
have 1 tablespoon of crushed red pepper, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, 1 tablespoon onion powder, half a teaspoon of sesame, half a teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon salt. All that's gonna go in. Then she's gonna just throw some gloves on and mix that all together.
So we're just gonna just stir this all in?
Just mix it all up. Get all in there, all comfortable, however you wanna do it.
Let all the seasons marry each other?
Marry each other. There's
no
rules, you know what I mean? There's not like, you can't fail on mixing, you know?
So now, because we go to this restaurant all the time, Did you just think by tasting the food, you said, hey, I think this is probably what the ingredients would be?
Basically, yeah, I love to like do what I call like the food deconstruction. Like I'll eat it,
Okay.
and then I'll try to figure out like what is this, and I'll do like what I call test kitchens when I'm home by myself, and I'll try different things. So I've tried this once or twice before.
Mm-hmm.
So every time I get a little closer and a little closer, and I'm like, all right, I think I got it now. So
Okay.
now that that's all mixed, we're gonna go ahead and start adding them to our pan. This is a nice hot pan with the 2 tablespoons olive oil. You know it's hot when you hear the sizzle. She's gonna go ahead and fill up our pan with shrimp.
Now,
And
do we need to put them in like that, or do we do it by handful?
It's whatever you want to do. You want to kind of space them out a little bit. That's good as long as they're not touching. And then once we do that, we're just gonna let them cook for about 1 to 2 minutes on each side. Okay, you can go.
Okay, so now I've sauteed these on both sides and took
Yeah.
the other ones out. So are we done with these? Or?
Yes, they cooked about 2 minutes on each side, and now we're good to take them out and remove them and just set them aside.
Okay.
They're gonna go back in later after we make the sauce.
Right. It smells really good.
I know. That's why I always say I wish we had like that aroma vision. Remember they used to try to do that back
Like
in the day?
ooh, wow.
Yeah, you could smell what was going on in the kitchen.
Yeah. I don't know.
All right, so now we're gonna you can turn the heat down slightly, but we're still gonna keep
'cause
the
it's
same
very
pan.
hot.
And we're gonna go ahead and add in our onion and garlic and a little bit of pour of that olive oil right there.
Okay. So we're gonna add the onion.
Go ahead and just pour us a slight bit of that olive oil, and then we're just gonna go ahead and let this saute until it's translucent. Just a little, coat the bottom of the pan. Perfect. That's it. And then we're just gonna saute this up until the onion and garlic get nice and translucent, and then we'll go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients. All right, so now we got the onion and garlic nice and sauteed until they were like a nice translucent. You'll start to smell the aroma. And now we're gonna go ahead and add in the rest of our sauce ingredients. So we're gonna take about a half a cup of olive oil. Should pour about half of what's in there into the pan. Perfect. Then we're gonna add a whole cup of dry white wine.
And so you could do Sauvignon Blanc, you can do Pinot Grigio.
Yeah, whatever you prefer, just as long as it's like a white wine. Add a whole cup of white wine. Perfect. And then we're gonna add about 9 ounces of diced tomato with the juice, everything, a can
Just plop it
of
in
diced
there, huh?
tomato. Just plop it right on in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and let that marinate all together. Cook that. This is
So now do
probably
you
on
put a
about-
top on this one, or do you
Yeah,
let
you
it?
can. Either way,
How
you're
long
just gonna
do you
bring
let
it
it
up to
sit?
like a simmer.
How long do you let this sit for about?
You let it go about 5 to 10 minutes. You're gonna bring it up to like a rolling boil where it's not like completely boiling, but it's like a little more than a simmer.
Okay.
And let that go ahead and marinate together for about 5 to 10 minutes. I'd say about 7 minutes, be right in the middle.
Okay. All right, so let's see.
We're gonna go. All right, so now we're gonna add a couple seasonings. We got our pan up to like a nice rolling boil. We're gonna go ahead and add in some seasonings. We have 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of a sazon, which is like a Spanish style seasoning, like an all-purpose Spanish seasoning. 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon onion powder, 1 teaspoon of ground black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of parsley. Just a dry
You
parsley.
said a rolling pan.
Rolling boil, yes.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go ahead and stir all that together. And then we're just gonna let that go ahead and simmer for
It's
another.
getting a nice thick, soft texture to it as
Mhm.
well.
And it's also thicken as it stands. So once we are done with like cooking it, it'll thicken when we let it sit for a second.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and mix all that together, and then we're just gonna let that all simmer for about 5 more minutes. And then we're gonna add our shrimp back into the pot. Just put the top on and we're all set. Did you cut? Go. Okay, so now we let that simmer for another 5 minutes, and we're gonna go ahead and add our shrimp back in. So the shrimp can kind of absorb some of this great flavor of the sauce. We're just gonna go ahead and add them back in.
There's no particular way you
No,
just drop
we're just
it in
gonna
there,
add
right?
about half of what we have on that tray back into the sauce, and then some we'll just add separately when you make your own like plate, But right now we're just gonna add about.
Now,
half of
why
the
do you
shrimp.
only add half? What's
just
the reason
because
for that?
you don't want to absorb too much of the liquid by adding too many things. And then when you're done, it's kind of like everyone can choose how much shrimp they actually want in their bowl.
Well, everybody
They
loves a
can
good
add-
shrimp, you know?
Well, I guess it's just personal preference, like how many they want. But that's good. That filled it
Or
up
should I put-
nicely. No, that's good. And then we'll add the rest like separately into your bowl individually when you make your plate.
Okay, so let's.
So we'll just go ahead and leave the shrimp. Shrimp are cooked really quickly, so we're just gonna kind of let them absorb some of this flavor for about 1 minute, and then we're gonna go ahead and add it onto our pasta.
Okay, so now we've got the we did the pasta already.
Yeah. So this is 1 pound of pre-cooked. We cooked the pasta ahead of time before we started. It's 1 pound of linguine. And we cook it to about an al dente because then we're gonna put the sauce on and everything's hot, so
Exactly.
that'll soften it even more.
Okay.
Before
Should we
we
put a little more?
before we add the sauce on, just go ahead and drizzle some olive oil over the pasta, and then just kind of mix it.
About how
up.
much do you think this is that we're putting?
That's about 2 tablespoons.
Now, why are we putting this on?
I just like to soften the pasta because sometimes like if you pre-cook the pasta, it gets a little bit dry, so this kind of like helps to make the pasta just not so dry,
moisture.
a little moist, and then it'll help like the sauce and everything kind of stick to the
Everybody's
pasta.
just marrying each other.
Marrying each other, exactly.
All right, so here's the sauce.
Now we have the sauce, and we're gonna go ahead
I'm
and
just gonna
pour
pour
that
it.
right over top. Yep,
Just-
yep. Any kind of way. There's really no. I always say there's no rules. You can't really fail. We're gonna just pour this all on. Help you scoop all out. Perfect. Perfect. And now you can
Get
just
a little
take-
bit of that, get all those ingredients in there.
Now you can go ahead and take these tongs and just kind of blend everything together.
Okay, now is this the point that we would add the additional shrimp? Because since we
Yeah,
have more
once you
juice
blend
here.
it in there, you can add the additional shrimp, or you can keep the shrimp to the side, and when your guests come over, they can just take more shrimp if they like.
Everybody loves a little. So how about you add a couple while I'm stirring and we can kind of blend
Add
them all
the additional
together.
shrimp in there. Since you like shrimp, we'll go
Well,
all
yeah, that shrimp
in.
juice too, but you know.
all in on the shrimp here. I like shrimp too, and shrimp's pretty healthy. It's a lean.
So now let me ask you, so
Protein.
trying to be a little more healthier. Well, I guess I can't say that now with all this
all the
pasta.
pasta, yeah.
But so what's another healthy addition instead of doing pasta? What's another alternative we could
Well,
do?
you could definitely take the
A little
same.
more juice or no?
No, it's fine. You could definitely take the same recipe, same sauce with the shrimp and throw it over a brown rice.
Okay.
You
What
could-
about like cauliflower rice? I heard that
You
was
could do
okay.
cauliflower rice. Now, cauliflower rice may not stand up with a sauce, like the sauce might make it too soft.
Okay.
But you can make this like the shrimp a side dish and then the cauliflower rice a side dish. Like mixing them together might be too soft on the cauliflower.
Okay, now what about pairing it with like maybe a vegetable?
You can
or-
totally do that. Broccoli is a good vegetable that goes good with shrimp.
Yes.
You can even take this pasta and do a whole grain pasta. Or if you have any kind of like gluten sensitivities, you can do gluten-free pasta.
Okay.
So there's a lot of options depending on your diet. I went all in. It's Friday night. Got company. I was like, hey, I'm going for the white pasta today, even though I know that's not my healthiest choice.
And
I
you're
can
usually
do-
very health
Yeah.
conscious. And I have to say, we with us working from home, I feel like, we are working a little longer and it feels like longer days. So it is nice to have a nice hearty Friday night meal with a
it's
cocktail.
kind of like the cheat day. All right, so that's that. Let's
Can
just
they
show.
see?
Yeah, they
Can
should be able to
everybody see
see.
at home?
The camera person, if they're paying attention, can show the pasta, and we're gonna just see that, and then we're just go ahead and we'll let this sit
Let
to the
this marinate
side, and
together.
let marinate, and we'll work on our steaks.
Stage 2.
Stage 2.
Great. I'm excited. I have to say that this is one of my favorite parts because, as you know, we're both greedy, and I can't believe you surprised me with this meal. So you got to tell them about how we do when we do go to this restaurant.
All right, so one thing we do always is order more than one thing, even though we probably shouldn't. So, or she'll get one thing and I'll get one thing, and then we'll share.
Share it, yeah.
So what we normally always get is the steak along with that pasta dish. So we're gonna do the same thing. We have 3 nice cuts of ribeye, because right now it's just me and her, and my daughter's actually here. She's our cameraman, but so we're gonna just make 3 steaks. This is really simple. We're doing a simple kind of rub / marinade on the steak. We have some here. This is a all-purpose like seasoning blend. It's called Total Seasoning. Has onion powder, garlic powder, parsley, and we're just gonna throw a little bit on that on each side of the steak. So you can go ahead and flip. These steaks are washed off before we started, so you do know if you're gonna take them out of the package or bring them home from the butcher. I like to wash them off. So we're gonna put that on both sides, and then we're gonna go ahead and do a steak rub. This is like a steak seasoning. What I like about it is it's more of a coarse seasoning. So when you're gonna put it in the pan, like a grill or something, you want to go with like
caramelize a little bit.
Caramelize a little bit, and it just doesn't cook off as easily because it's more coarse. When
Okay.
you're doing like a thicker cut of meat, So we're gonna do that.
Just turn it over.
Yeah, we'll just kind of blend it in.
Now let me ask you, why do you use all 3 seasonings at once and then turn over?
Well, I don't know. I just do it however. There's really no rules.
Well, I know you're like a big cooker, so
yeah, you can. There's no real reason. There's no like wrong answer to this. You can do that.
and then we'll save that little bit
and
for
then turn over. Yeah, and then this is just a little bit of Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire,
however
whichever
you want to
pronunciation.
say it. Exactly. I'm just gonna put a little bit on each steak.
Okay, and
And then we'll turn it over.
This is really exciting to be on this show. I've seen it a couple times. I've liked, shared. I've sent it. So if you guys remember to like, share, Instagram, Snapchat.
And then we'll just take some time to kind of rub all these seasonings in. But yeah, I want everybody to definitely, I'm trying to get to my first 1,000 subscribers.
Oh, you're doing very well so far.
So hopefully we can get there.
Now, am I doing the rub right?
There's no rules. Like I always say, you can't fail at cooking. People that say I can't cook or whatever, it's not true. You just have to try. It's like trial and error sometimes. You get these nice and coated on both sides. Just rub it all in. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and bring these over to our grill pan. Normally, they cook this at the restaurant that we go to on a hot stone.
Yes.
But we don't have that, so we're just going to do an indoor grill pan. If you have like a Foreman grill or anything similar, indoor grill pan.
And since Labor Day weekend is coming, or afterwards, you can also
Actually,
still
outdoor grill
outdoors.
Exactly.
You know, this is a great meal for outside with your friends, family, and let's see how we go.
All right, so we're gonna just bring this over to our grill. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and add these to our pan. We have a kind of small pan, so we're probably gonna have to do one steak at a time. The pan's already hot. It's turned up to 350 degrees, and I added a tablespoon of olive oil in there. And we're just gonna go ahead and put that in on the grill. I'm gonna throw the lid on, and we're gonna let that cook about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna flip it over.
Now, how do you decide it's to temperature with however someone prefers their steak as well, though? Correct?
Yeah, it depends if you want medium well. One thing that somebody told me that I watched this show, I forget what it's called, but it's a show where they have like a food scientist.
Okay.
And they said once you can if you press a dimple in it and it stays all the way down, then it's rare. If it comes halfway back up, it's medium. And then if you touch it and it doesn't dent, then it's cooked well.
Okay.
So that's like an easy way to tell without like a food thermometer or something.
Great. Especially if you're on a grill.
If you're on a grill, exactly.
Okay.
Great. So we finished our steaks and we set them over here to rest. Once you finish your steaks and take them out of the pan, you want to let them rest for about 2 to 3 minutes. Because that allows the juices from that when you come off, the juices that run out kind of get to reabsorb back into the steak so you don't lose a lot of the juices. Okay. So before you cut your meat, you definitely let it rest. So we did that. And now we're gonna go ahead and take one and we're gonna put it on our plate. We're gonna go ahead and eat. You can grab me one.
Okay.
And we'll put that on there. And then we'll both just...
And again, the steak is to your preference.
Yeah, to your preference. I like mine medium. She asked for medium well, so... Hers is a little more done than mine. And then we're just gonna go ahead and plate some of these pasta here.
Let's see here, and I'll just
go ahead and take what you want. Go ahead and throw a couple shrimp since you know everybody loves shrimp. Let me throw a couple shrimp on the top. All right.
This is such a fun meal. Here we go.
Okay, I'm just gonna move this out of our way so everybody can see what we made.
And this is the friend meal.
This is the friend meal. This is our favorite, what we do when we go out.
Yes.
Friend meal at home.
Just being greedy. Just to give you background, we've been friends for what, since?
Like 30 years probably,
so
maybe more.
If I'm 3, 4, 5, 6, a couple years older than you, so probably about over 30 years of friendship.
Yeah, like 30 years. And this is like something definitely when you're at home and it's quarantine. Up until today, New Jersey, we couldn't eat inside.
And today they actually let you eat indoors, 25%.
Exactly. So now we can, but up this whole 5 or 6 months we've been in the house, you want to do something with your friends, just cook at home and have friends over.
And we have ordered
it a couple times.
During quarantine.
Yes, a couple times. So let me grab a knife. Grab me a knife and a fork, and let's just go ahead and take a little bite and
see what we come up with.
See how close it is to the real thing.
All right, I'm nervous. Now, you could do steak sauce if you prefer. You could do no steak sauce. I like steak sauce. So for right now,
I'm gonna go no steak sauce so I can get the true effect.
All right, I'm gonna go no steak sauce either. Let's see.
Delicious. If I do say so myself.
You nailed it. All right, here's the big test.
Good. Slightly different, but good. I love it. Delicious. So it's been fun. It's been great. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely hit the like, subscribe, comment, share. Let us know what you think. Put in the comments what's your favorite meal to eat with your best friend, and we can all maybe you get some ideas from us.
Oh, we'll definitely make them. Can I come back soon?
Definitely, anytime you want.
All right, thank you for having me.
You're
I'm
welcome.
ready to go off camera and sit on the outside
And eat this food.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
you
you.
for having me. This is great.
No problem.